For Robert Christian Hansen, the game was seen in the hunt, and the thrill was in hunting his victims down like an animal and claiming his prize in the last worn jewelry of his victims. He seemed pretty unstoppable. Alaska, with its sprawling wilderness and icy landscapes, provided the perfect canvas for Hansen's twisted desires to unfold. Picture it, vast expanses of snow-covered terrain where the biting cold seeps into your bones and the silence is deafening. It's a place where the line between civilization and the untamed wild blurs, offering refuge to those seeking solitude and anonymity. Amidst this stark backdrop, Robert Hansen lived a seemingly ordinary life. By day, he was the affable neighborhood baker, known for his warm smile and delicious pastries. At night, however, he transformed into something far more sinister, a predator lurking in the shadows, his true nature concealed beneath a facade of normalcy. To the outside world, Hansen was the epitome of the all-American family man, devoted to his wife and children. But behind closed doors, he harbored dark and depraved fantasies, fueling his insatiable appetite for bloodshed. It was a secret he guarded with meticulous care, masking his true intentions beneath a veneer of charm and respectability. But for those who knew him, it was almost inconceivable to imagine the mild-mannered baker as anything other than what he appeared to be: a loving husband, a doting father, a pillar of the community. But beneath the surface lurked a monster, biding its time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And as the chill of the Alaskan winter descended upon the land, casting a veil of darkness over the icy landscape, Robert Hansen's reign of terror was about to begin. Robert Hansen, widely known as the Butcher Baker, emerges from the shadows of history as one of the most infamous serial killers. Born on February 15, 1939 in Estherville, Iowa, Hansen's early life was seemingly ordinary. The eldest of two children, he grew up in a small town where his mother, Edna Margaret, and his Danish father, Christian or Chris Hansen, ran a local bakery. Despite the family's move to Richmond, California in 1942, they returned to Iowa in 1949, eventually settling in Pocahontas. Hansen's formative years were marked by challenges that would shape the disturbing trajectory of his life. Painfully shy, afflicted by a stutter, and battling severe acne that left permanent scars, he emerged as a quiet loner with a difficult relationship with his domineering father. Seeking solace in the pursuits of hunting and archery, Hansen's inner turmoil manifested as he navigated the complexities of adolescence. In 1957, at the age of 18, Hansen enlisted in the United States Army Reserve, serving for a year before receiving his discharge. His path then led him to work as an assistant drill instructor at a police academy in Pocahontas. It was during this period that he initiated a relationship with a younger woman, leading to their marriage in the summer of 1960. However, Hansen's descent into criminality began on December 7, 1960, when he committed a shocking act of arson as a twisted form of revenge for perceived unpopularity in high school. He set fire to a Pocahontas County School bus garage. This incident led to his arrest and subsequent imprisonment at Anamosa State Penitentiary, where he served 20 months of a 3-year sentence. It was during this period that he received a diagnosis of manic depression with periodic schizophrenic episodes from a psychiatrist. This marked the beginning of a criminal history that would later escalate to horrifying proportions. As Hansen's life took a dark turn, his move to Anchorage, Alaska in 1967, accompanied by his second wife and children, would become a pivotal moment. Despite the facade of normalcy he cultivated, working as a well-liked baker and achieving local acclaim for setting hunting records, the true horror of Robert Hanson's nature remained hidden beneath the surface. The small-town baker was, in fact, the butcher baker, concealing a monstrous secret that would terrorize the Alaskan wilderness and stain its history forever. As Robert Hanson settled into his new life in Alaska, his criminal behavior escalated with alarming speed, setting the stage for the horrors to come. Initially, Hanson's offenses remained relatively minor, involving theft and minor assaults. However, the leniency of the justice system, coupled with Hanson's ability to manipulate and evade consequences, emboldened him to commit increasingly heinous acts. However, the facade of normalcy quickly crumbled in December 1971. Hanson was arrested twice within a short span. The first arrest involved the abduction and attempted rape of an unidentified housewife, while the second was for the rape of an unidentified prostitute. In a plea bargain, the rape charge was dropped, and Hanson pleaded to no contest to assault with a deadly weapon. In the first offense, he received a 5-year prison sentence but was released to halfway house after serving only 6 months as part of a work release program. One pivotal moment in Hanson's descent into darkness came with his first known murder victim, 18-year-old Celia Beth Van Zanten. Kidnapped on December 22, 1971, Van Zanten tragically froze to death in the wilderness after escaping her captor. While Hanson vehemently denied involvement, chilling similarities between Van Zanten's abduction and Hanson's modus operandi raised suspicions, although concrete evidence linking him to the crime remained elusive. This brazen act marked the beginning of Hanson's killing spree, characterized by a calculated and sadistic pattern of abduction, rape, and murder. Hanson's victims, often vulnerable women such as prostitutes or dancers, were lured under false pretenses before being subjected to unspeakable horrors. One such victim was 17-year-old Cindy Paulson, whose daring escape in 1983 triggered a series of events that would ultimately lead to Hanson's downfall. Paulson's harrowing ordeal shed light on Hanson's depravity, revealing the depths of his sadistic desires. Despite numerous brushes with the law, including arrests for theft and assault, Hanson continued to evade justice, exploiting legal loopholes and manipulating those around him. The failure of the justice system to recognize the severity of his crimes allowed Hanson's reign of terror to persist, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. As Hanson's violence escalated to murder, Anchorage became gripped with fear as more women went missing, their fates tied to the dark and twisted desires of the butcher baker. Anchorage became a city gripped by fear as rumors swirled and suspicions mounted. Women walked the streets with trepidation, knowing that at any moment they could become the next target of the butcher baker's reign of terror. Law enforcement's pursuit of Robert Hanson was a relentless battle against a cunning and elusive predator. Despite Hanson's attempts to cover his tracks, investigators gradually pieced together the evidence that would ultimately bring him to justice. The crucial breakthrough came with the escape of Cindy Paulson, who bravely fled from Hanson's clutches in 1983. Paulson's harrowing ordeal shed light on Hanson's depravity, providing investigators with a crucial eyewitness account of his crimes. Her courage not only served her own life, but also served as a catalyst for uncovering the truth behind Hanson's reign of terror. Armed with Paulson's testimony and a profile provided by FBI Special Agent John Douglas, law enforcement obtained a warrant to search Hanson's property. What they uncovered was a chilling trove of evidence, including jewelry belonging to missing women, firearms, and a map with marked locations matching crime scenes. Confronted with damning evidence, Hanson's facade of innocence crumbled. and he eventually confessed to a spree of attacks against Alaskan women spanning from 1971. His confession revealed the depths of his depravity, confirming law enforcement's worst fears about the extent of his crimes. In a stunning turn of events, Hansen led investigators to 17 grave sites in and around south-central Alaska, where the remains of his victims lay hidden. The discovery of these graves, along with other incriminating evidence, left no doubt about Hansen's guilt. Despite his cooperation, Hansen withheld information about 3 marks on his map, including those near Resurrection Bay near Seward, where authorities suspected the graves of Mary Phil and Megan Emmerich. Hansen denied responsibility for their deaths. The remains of 12 out of a probable 21 to 37 victims were exhumed by the police and returned to grieving families. Facing the consequences of his heinous crimes, Hansen received a staggering sentence of 461 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Initially incarcerated at the United States Penitentiary in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, he was later returned to Alaska. His time behind bars included spells at Lemon Creek Correctional Center in Juneau and Spring Creek Correctional Center in Seward. In May 2014, due to health concerns, he was transferred to the Anchorage Correctional Complex, where he ultimately met his end. Robert Hansen's dark chapter concluded on August 21, 2014, at the age of 75, as he succumbed to natural causes related to lingering health conditions at Alaska Regional Hospital in Anchorage. The death of the Butcher Baker marked the end of a reign of terror that had left a lasting scar on the Alaskan landscape.